I'd like to inform all of you that we have interpretations available. So when someone's speaking in English, it will be translated into Italian and vice versa. All you need to do is download the app from the QR code that's here, and then the QR code is also available in the hallway outside. The Wi-Fi is, 1 minute. The Wi-Fi is the PUSC-AM network, and the password is Santa Croce. The S and the C of Santa Croce are capitalized. Santa.croce è il codice per entrare nel Wi-Fi. Ecco, okay. So we will begin as people come in. They can make their way freely to where they would like to sit. But on behalf of the International Union of Superiors General and the Union of Superiors General, who are sponsoring this evening's event, on behalf of Talitha Coombe, who is coordinating this event, and on behalf of the partner organizations who collaborate in making the International Day of Prayer possible, and I'm going to list them quickly: the Dicasteries for Promoting Integral Human Development, for Communication, for the Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life, the Pope's Worldwide Prayer Network, Caritas Internationalis, COTNET, the Focolare Movement, Jesuit Refugee Service, the World Union of Catholic Women's Organizations, the JPIC's Anti-Trafficking Working Group of the UISG and USG, the Kluwer Initiative, the Pope John XXIII Community, the International Federation of Catholic Action, the Italian Catholic Guides and Scouts Association, the Santa Marta Group, the Union of Major Superiors of Italy, and many, many other organizations have made this event possible. On behalf of all of these people, and of course all those who are participating in this afternoon's event, I would like to extend a most warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for your presence here this afternoon. As you know, this event is a call for hope and healing. It's one of the events leading up to the International Day of Prayer and Awareness Against Human Trafficking, and this is the 11th time it's being held after Pope Francis first initiated this International Day of Prayer in 2015. And of course, this year's observance falls within the Jubilee of Hope. Now, before going any further, we all need to acknowledge that events surrounding human trafficking are very often difficult to navigate emotionally. This evening will not be any less emotionally difficult to navigate. So before introducing our first speakers, why don't we just pause for a few moments to remember the people behind the words human trafficking? Remembering victims, survivors, those who combat it, as well as the conversion of the perpetrator. So let's pause for a moment before we move on. Our program this evening is quite full. We won't be taking a break once we start. However, during some of the musical performances, please feel free to move about. Coffee is available on the first floor. It will be available throughout the program. So should anyone need some refreshments, please feel free to find your way to the first floor. And now I'd like to introduce the first four speakers of tonight's event. To my right, I have Professor Cristina Reis. She's the Vice Academic Rector of the university, and she will be speaking a few words on behalf of the university and the faculty here. After, we'll hear from Sister Abby Avellino, the International Coordinator of Talitha Cum, who will provide some opening remarks. She will be followed by Sister Roxanne Shares, school sister of Notre Dame, who is representing the International Union of Superiors General. And then we'll have a video message from His Eminence Cardinal Czerny, who is the prefect of the dicastery for promoting integral human development.
Good evening, everyone. Just as our sister reminded us, as a representative of the University of Santa Croce, I am very grateful for this opportunity of offering this house for this event, because it's very important, since we have been talking about the respect we owe to the human beings. This is the center of our own work as well. We as a university are really focused on the principle of the protection of human beings in the formation of our students. Many of them, they come from all over the world, as you know, study theology, philosophy, social communication and institutional communication, as well as canon law, so all ecclesiastical subjects, but our own existence is centered on human beings, because we are really aware of the mission that we have and that they will have where they will work. Human beings are the image of God, and we have Jesus as our center, at the center of our work. And I want to highlight this element because this clarifies our gratitude for the possibility of offering this hall to develop this event. You are all at home here, and so if you need anything, feel free to ask in whatever moment. I hope you will have a most fruitful and pleasant afternoon and evening sharing this very important experience. Thank you very much.
I'm short. Well, thank you, Directors, for this opportunity, for giving or allowing us to hold our event in this beautiful aula of Santa Croce. And our collaboration with this university has begun this year. I'm very honored because of Talitha Cum and this university. We're also hosting the leadership formation, and this is where the good opportunity as well. So on behalf of the partners organization, mentioned by Sister Bernadette Reis, it's an honor really to welcome you all. It is also a privilege to be joined by various diplomats from the embassy to the Holy See. I acknowledge our presence of the U.S. Embassy and the Australian Embassy, and also the Philippine Embassy, and our friends from Malta, and also our sisters from UISG, led by Sister Mary Barron, the president of the UISG. She's back there. But I really appreciate that you could be with us at this time. I also acknowledge our representatives from various organizations, from the Popolare and also from other organizations that really work with us through this time. So we are really very grateful for your collaboration. And our youth ambassadors being with us since this week's the beginning of this week, that they're really doing their campaign to help to mobilize these events. And of course, acknowledge all the performers way back from the Florence, also from Puglia, led by Sister Philomena and Canossian Sisters. I really thank you for coming for this event. So this year, in the line with the spirit of celebration of the Church Jubilee 2025, really the organizing committee seeks to highlight the International Day of Prayer and Awareness Against Human Trafficking through the series of events. It's, as you probably noticed from our campaign, it's various events that has been going on. This is already our 5th day for this awareness. Like this awareness is really aimed awareness raising against human trafficking and other forms of modern slavery. So the Jubilee emphasized the hope through concrete actions such as addressing global issues like the horrific global reality of human trafficking. So this is only a beginning, or we need to really sit together in order for us to combat human trafficking. It is necessary to educate ourselves on the issue of human trafficking. We don't need to talk about it. We are all here to take an action in order to fight this vicious cycle or this trafficking that's affecting millions across global more than ever more. It's estimated 50 million are still living in modern day slavery. 12 million of these are children. Traffickers operates in a situation of vulnerability. They target people who desire better life, to improve their own financial situation, to develop their abilities and skills, but yet they were trapped to trafficking. Our work as a Talitha Kum, as a global network of the sister-led network against human trafficking, from 2023, we accompanied 39,081 victims or survivors of human trafficking. And it's right, 39,081. These numbers, I'm not proud of these numbers, but these people seek help. We need you to accompany us. It's these people, individuals, they share their stories. I included one, even 81. One person, they have a sacred story. We really need to help them in order to be empowered. Every single story of the people, every single story of these individuals are sacred. They have experienced suffering, their pains, we hear them. Our sisters are grassroots, accompany them in order to be empowered. We will hear from Pauline later on from her testimony, being a survivor, but able to recover and be empowered. But we could not do this without collaboration and networking. And this is the strength of Talitha Kum. We are a network of networks against human trafficking. We value this collaboration and networking with international NGOs, as well as collaboration between various organizations, congregations, commission, and agency at national, regional, and international levels. We don't work alone. Many of you are probably aware of the announcement or reprise of the foreign assistance. The U.S. aid or international U.S. Agency for International Development, with its U.S. aid, freeze their foreign assistance. This agency provides humanitarian assistance to more than 100 countries. This situation is concerning for many of our collaborators, as well as we are working at the grassroots. It may impact maybe of our collaborators, especially those small NGOs, NPOs, organizations that work locally, not the nonprofit organization, international organization that rely on this funding from this agency. That's really a serious that we really need to work together, how we really advocate. I'm calling all the diplomats how we really advocate in order to support small assistance that work a lot in order to help the survivors and human trafficking. We need to work together to face these challenges. This is a challenge that we needed to work. We have hope and courage to take action. Like Maria Rosa, the famous or the Nobel Prize winner, she said, hope comes from actions. We need to take action. Hope comes from action. A small thing that we do make a difference. The other day, we witnessed these young people. They did a silent protest. They were courageous. They have hope. They were able to voice out those people suffered. Those survivors suffered. They fled. They cry for our help. Many lives have been affected by this hidden crime. The children are urgently calling for change. It's alarming that 1 in 3 victims of trafficking is a child. Let's take a moment to ask ourselves, what can I do? What can I do? One young person, when I went to Ethiopia, he was encouraged to join the youth ambassadors in Ethiopia. He was active for a few months, but for one reason, he died. So, just 2 weeks ago, the sisters and the network in Ethiopia is still mourning, but this young man was courageously to get involved to fight against human trafficking. Young people are really ready to move on. So what can we do? Education and raising awareness among youth and students is very effective methods of reducing vulnerability and numbers of individuals who've been trapped on the victims or in the traffickers. We really need to support them. We were inspired by their innovation. So that's this Walking Up Dignity was developed through the young people. We really need to encourage young people to join our campaigns. Each of us has a role to play in this fight. Most importantly, we must promote a culture of dignity and economy of care. We need to be aware of this situation. We really dream of a world without human trafficking, and this is our vision. We must involve all sectors of society, including government and church leaders at every level. And I keep repeating this because we really need to work together. We don't work together, we ended up in being in this situation. Today, as we gather here, we can be ambassadors of hope for the people. Today, we will also introduce ambassadors of hope from the arts and film industry. That's why we invited of these performers that we are called to be ambassadors of hope for a world without human trafficking. And this is our call. Let us listen from the survivors' advocates to raise their voices. Let us act for justice like the Santa Bakhita of today for their liberty and freedom. Let us dream with children and young people and act together to build a world without human trafficking. My name is Sister Abby Abilino, and I welcome you all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sister Roxanne Shares, the Associate Executive Secretary of the International Union of Superiors General. And really, it's a privilege to be with all of you as we mark this event, the Call for Hope and Healing. Our organization is one of leaders from more than 1,900 institutes of Catholic Apostolic women religious, with nearly 600,000 members across the globe. And we are very grateful to be able to partner with all of you and many others through our initiative Talitha Kum in the commitment to eradicate human trafficking, modern-day slavery, and exploitation. I think we're becoming more aware of the vicious cycle of human trafficking. It's more complex and challenging, affecting countless lives of people in all parts of the world, particularly the vulnerable: women, children and youth, migrants and refugees. And the risk increases as violent conflicts, climate change, and inequalities intensify. Our world is deeply wounded, and the need for hope and healing is greater than ever before. So I ponder, what will empower us to respond to the call for hope and healing? The years I ministered with forcibly displaced persons in Africa, I learned a great deal from them about hope and healing, about what keeps someone going through years of suffering, grief, hunger, insecurity, struggling just to survive day after day. A catechist with whom I worked in one camp, a refugee for more than 20 years, said to me, "Sister, for a Christian, there's always hope. God knows when I will be able to go home again. God knows." 2 weeks later, he came with news of the birth of his 9th child, all of them born as refugees. Her name, Christina Victorina Nibigisi, the traditional name meaning God knows. The way of hope is God. And if we dare to go to the peripheries and be with and in solidarity with the marginalized, the victims, the survivors, God's gift of hope is revealed to us and becomes alive in and among us. In solidarity, pain and suffering are shared. And Pope Francis spoke of this when he said in Laudato Si, "The goal is not to amass more information, but rather to become painfully aware, to dare to turn what is happening into our own personal suffering, and thus to discover what each of us can do about it." Together, painfully aware, we discover God's gift of hope among us and the ways to respond that foster healing, healing of persons, of society, of our world. So my hope is that this gathering deepens our awareness and understanding and sense of solidarity, so that we may welcome and live God's gift of hope and discern ways to further healing in our world. Thank you.
And now we have the message from Cardinal Czerny.
May God bless our online pilgrimage of prayer and awareness against human trafficking. Human trafficking disfigures dignity, Pope Francis says. Exploitation and subjugation limit freedom and turn people into objects to use and discard. The worldwide system of trafficking takes advantage of millions of men, women, and children. Made vulnerable by poverty, inequality, injustice, insecurity, and hopelessness, they are easily deprived of their freedom, their human rights, and their hopes. Moreover, they are made invisible. A first essential step, then, is to see the human trafficking and enslavement going on around us, recognize them, and cooperate to resist and overcome them. Equally important is the work to liberate and rehabilitate the victims of trafficking. Take care of your dignity, Pope Francis says, and that of every person you meet. Brothers and sisters, each individual, each community, each faith, and each component of society has to find its role in exposing, resisting, and overcoming this most shameful scourge. In this Jubilee of year, may God open eyes, inflame hearts, and strengthen hands to take up these challenges and promote fraternity everywhere. May God enlist us in the tireless struggle to protect human dignity and offer hope. May God continue binding us together in networks of communication and cooperation. May God bless the many organizations, both Catholic and of other faiths, committed to exposing, overcoming, liberating, rehabilitating over so many years. And may God empower each and every participant in today's marathon of prayer as a real pilgrim in this year's Jubilee of Hope. God bless you, and thank you.
February 8th, the International Day of Prayer and Awareness Against Human Trafficking coincides with the feast of St. Josephine Bakhita. Her story as a slave is one among millions. But unlike others, her story is an inspiration and gives hope to others who share her horrific fate. Please join me in welcoming the students from the Bakhita Socio-Educational Center from Foggia, Italy. Through their creativity, we will be able to touch a few key moments in her life.
My history starts in Darfur, in Sudan. I was born in 1869, but I don't remember my name anymore. I had a nice family. We were 7 children. Our parents were here for us and they were also very lovely. We were all very affectionate, so close to one another in our precious hut. Of my land, I remember the people who was poor but also full of life, ready to avoid eating but never to dance. And I am always reminded of the colors and sounds of a country which was enormous compared to me. I was living with full joy without knowing what pain was about up until my sister was kidnapped, my elderly sister. In that moment, bands of traffickers invaded our villages to kidnap people for the market of human beings. But that was the beginning. Your eyes, oh my God, witnessed my life, which were all inscribed in the days in which I needed to produce products. How hard and difficult to understand are your plans, my God. I dream, I hear. When I was in my village with my family, I remember that by seeing the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the beauty of nature, I asked myself, who is the master of these beautiful things? And I felt a deep willingness to know more and to know Him and to thank Him.
Se urli, sei morta!
What's your name?
Non lo sai, eh?
Bakita?
Bakhita.
Probably.
Chiamiamola Bakhita.
Your name is
Vuol dire
Bakita,
fortunata.
right?
Capito? D'ora in poi ti chiamerai così.
So from now on, your name is going to be Bakita. From that day on, how much suffering was waiting for me. I was sold to a slaves merchants. I tried to flee, but I was captured, and I just went to the hands of another merchant, a very rich man at the service of his daughters and son. And then I was sold again to a politician, to a Turkish politician, and to be nicer for my master, I was tattooed with deep tortures, and all the wounds I was made were then covered with salt, with much suffering, and we were deeply punished without any mercy for every possible mistake. In 3 years, I don't remember any possible day without wounds. I can say I didn't die out of a miracle of the Lord who wanted me for better plans.
Forza,
Come on,
venite.
walk. I want her.
È
It's
tua,
yours.
prendila.
Take her. Come on. Let's go away from this hell. Freedom is going to be your dress. My family, your home. Love, your heart. And hope, your destiny. Now, this time, I was really lucky. My new master, the counselor Callisto Lignani, was very good and loved me. I finally enjoyed peace and calmness. 2 years went by, and the counselor was called to Italy for some affairs, and I don't know why. But when I heard about Italy, I felt in my heart a deep desire to know this country, to follow him. I asked him to come with him, and the journey was very long. We reached Genoa, and here a friend of the counselor who had come here wanted one of us for their daughter, and the counselor gave me to him, and I went to Milano Veneto to follow them and to be the teacher of their children. And we were welcomed in the Catechist Center of Venice, thanks to the intervention of a special man, a man with a golden heart, with deep consciousness, who once gave me a gift. Take, Bakhita. Take this always with you. Who is him? It's Jesus Christ, the Son of God. God? God, our Creator. He created me, you. All the world was created by God, and His Son, Jesus Christ, was crucified for us to make us understand that there are no slaves, servants, masters. We are all the same. And what really counts in this world is love. Love makes us alive. Thank you. Now I know you. Thank you. Thanks, God. my lady asked about wanted to have me in Africa, but I couldn't accept because there I couldn't profess my faith in the Lord and I couldn't possibly renounce to my life of faith. She was deeply angry, but I had made my choice, and after formation on January 9th, I received the joy of baptism with the name of Giuseppina Margherita Bakhita. Then I had my confirmation and communion, and over time I wanted to become a Canossian sister, and so I started my formation path, and then I gave my vows. I spent more than 40 years in the house of the Canossian sisters, and I also traveled to Italy to spread the most important element of the world, hope, the same value that had saved me. For all my life, I knew the goodness of God towards me, even in my hardest moments of life. Sister, how do you feel? I am sick. But when nature calls, I say, even if you don't have much, be satisfied with what you have. With what you have, go ahead. But why don't you call us when you need help? Why should I call you? I can try and solve my problems by myself. Slowly, my pains are going to be silenced, and even the problems I have will be silenced. What would you do if you met your kidnappers? I would kneel and kiss their hands. I would kneel and kiss their hands. I would pray, because if it hadn't been for them, now I wouldn't be Christian and a religious woman. I would pray for the good God to save them. How did you live your illness? I lived my illness with great problems. But God is good. Are you grateful for your life? Even if I was kneeling for all my life, I wouldn't possibly thank God enough. Thank you. Thank you, Josephine Bakhita, Ambassador of Hope. My whole life has been a gift from God. People, their tools. I thank them for giving me the gift of faith. Be good, love the Lord, pray for those who don't know Him, and to you all, you are in chain, humiliated, marginalized, don't fear. The light of the day will come to you, and in your heart, hope will inflame.
siete veramente bravi, eh? And now it is my pleasure to be able to introduce the first of several ambassadors of hope joining us in the fight against human trafficking, who come from the arts and film industries. Please join me in welcoming members of Gen Verde, who will perform several times for us this afternoon. And in case you don't know who Gen Verde is, their primary characteristic lies in their rich cultural mix, which gives a particular twist to their music. Their goal is to give voice to the people of our time, to all of humanity, in a call to live for universal fraternity. So this afternoon, their voice is for the victims and survivors of human trafficking. Gen Verde.
Grazie. La prossima canzone mi
Thank
ricorda
you.
che ho
Our
dentro una
next song
forza
reminds
fa
us
continuare
the
a
deep
sperare.
strength that we have in
Per
our
voi,
hearts to
I've
continue
got
hope.
hope.
For
Io
you,
ho
I've got
speranza.
hope.
In the heart of a mother fighting for her child, in the gaze of a migrant out at sea, in the girl whose poverty can steal her smile, in the tears of a friend who cries with me, there's a real light that knows the frozen earth will awaken. It says I believe the springtime will come, 'cause I've got hope, hope, oh, I've got hope, hope. It's a light that'll never die. I've got hope, hope, oh, I've got hope, hope. Won't give in, won't give up the fight. Every seed has the power within to make it grow. In every death there's a promise of new life. There's a longing in our hearts to reach our home, for a star to guide us through the night. In the darkness is the light, and in the stillness the dancing. If I keep believing when I can't see, 'cause I've got hope, hope, oh, I've got hope, hope. It's a light that'll never die. I've got hope, hope, oh, I've got hope, hope. I won't give in, won't give up, I won't surrender to the darkness. I will stand my ground and believe my own worst enemy is inside me. If I trust in love, I will be free. No, I won't be afraid to dream. Dream of all the things I know love can be. 'Cause I've got hope, hope, oh, I've got hope, hope. It's a light that'll never die. I've got hope, hope, oh, I've got hope, hope. I won't give in, won't give up, I won't surrender to the darkness. I will stand my ground and believe my own worst enemy is inside me. If I trust in love, I will be free. I've got hope, hope. I've got hope, hope.
Thank you.
The power of one word. Amen. A new day began just like any other day for our next speaker. But that day, her dreams for the future were dashed to the ground as she experienced an atrocity so many other women experience: gang rape. Then the harrowing experience of 2 violent marriages. She was at the end of her rope with no hope in sight. That's when her God-given creativity welled up within her, giving her not only hope, but rebirth. It's truly a pleasure for me to introduce our next speaker, Pauline Akinyi Juma.
Oh, wow. So I have a very secret character whenever I'm scared. And how did you just make me cry? How? Okay. A moment of silence. 5 years ago, Rebirth of a Queen was founded. And on days like today, sitting closer to Daniela reminds me that Rebirth of a Queen is me having to be triggered anytime I see a chain and I have someone holding my hands and reminding me that you're free. A day like today, Rebirth of a Queen means that when someone mentions the word hope in a song, I don't cry so oftenly. I'm shedding my tears and I don't know why, but sometimes as a survivor, you fly so many hours to just get your freedom, because I live in a country that each and every step reminds you that you can't wear green again, because 14 years ago, I was sexually abused by 4 men and I was in a very beautiful green dress. And the first time I spoke up, I was told maybe you were dressed so badly. So it is 14 years down the line. I have never worn a green dress again, apart from when I'm celebrating my birthday on 9th January, and I wear it for 2 minutes and remove it because green to me signifies the day I stumbled into real pain. My name is Akinyi Juma. I was born and raised in Kibera slums, Nairobi. They call it the biggest slum in the world, the 2nd largest slum in the world. And being born and brought up in a slum teaches you how to be resilient. But the truth is, if wishes were horses, I would want to be a normal human being. I don't know what normal is, because, being brought up in a slum reminds you that you have to fight every single day. I keep asking my mom, when did I ever be a normal child? And my mom tells me, from the time you were born, we knew that you will be a child who will break all chain. But I don't remember me writing a letter asking to be a child who will break any chain. Because why would I break any chain by going through violence and I have to speak over and over and over again? Why would I break chains going through violence at the age of 19? I love Rome. 19-year-olds in Rome are in school. At the age of 19, I was going through domestic violence with a man who was reminding me that, you know what? You were raped because of your loud mouth. I am a loud mouth. I'm guilty. I shout a lot of times. When I come here, it reminds me that 23-year-olds are still in school. I left in school at the age of 19, and at the age of 23, I had 2 children from different fathers. I am judged so harshly in Kenya, so if your biasness reminds you to judge me today, trust me, that is what I'm used to every single day. When I come here, 30-year-olds are really doing well with their lives. I admire them. But as a 30-year-old, I am a mother to 3 children, and trust me, I'm a child. I don't know what to do with them sometimes. I have a 10-year-old, I was just speaking to him, and he told me, I wish you all the best. And most of the time when I look at them, we have a conversation, and I tell them, children, this motherhood didn't come with a manual. If you don't help me to parent you, I might be tempted to parent you how I was parented. You know, parenting for me meant my father beating me up because he was going through his own violence. My mother was going through her own violence. So the only way that nature or culture taught them they were going to raise me and become a disciplined girl maybe was beating me up. But Akinyi is a very rebellious child. No one ever asked me, why are you so rebellious at the age of 20? Because when I went through violence at the age of 16, the first time I spoke about it, I was 23. For 7 years, I was carrying my silence with so much dignity because if I dared speak, my mother would get killed. That is what they say. Big lie. It is our voice that has our power. And you know, being in Talitha Kum reminds me that no matter how scared I am, trust me, I'm so scared right now. No matter how scared we are, it is our voice that gives us freedom. And having to fly so many hours to be here today and to have all of you listen to me is such a power. I have a mentor who keeps reminding me that no one gives you power, you take it. But that's the other side of life. That's the other side of our life. When I come here, I'm reminded that sometimes power just comes with people who believes in you. So I don't take it for granted. So today, when I speak about rebirth of a queen, back at home, I have left 38 people who call me Mom Pauline. I didn't give people in Rome trigger warning. I don't like it when I'm called Pauline in Kenya. Because when people call me Pauline, it means I have to pay school fees for 22 girls. When people call me Pauline, it means I have to provide food for over 40 people in our shelter. When people call me Pauline, it means I have to run into the police in the middle of the night because a girl needs to be rescued. When I'm called Pauline, sometimes it means I have a call and someone is chasing after my life because I dared talk back to a perpetrator. Sometimes when I'm called Pauline, it means I'm in a cell somewhere because I decided to go on the street because I am tired of women getting killed. I am tired of our voices not being heard. So back at home, Rebirth of a Queen is a community-based organization that is dedicated to survivors, for survivors, with survivors, to shift the narrative of empowerment around survivors. We have a women's shelter that has 38 people at the moment. I'm not sure. They've not updated me if someone came in. I might go back home and find 45 people or 50 or 70, I don't know. But I left home when there are 38 people, and we run an economic empowerment program, which is a labor of love. If someone asked me at the age of 19, what do you want? I will tell them I want to go back to school and become a lawyer. because I want to look at a perpetrator one day in their face and make sure they're jailed for so many years. Not because that is what brings healing to us sometimes, but sometimes having someone behind the bars and not having to meet them again is one step to healing. We run a skills training program that empowers women to make leather products. It empowers women to make fabrics. And when you ask the girls in our shelter, they tell me, Mom, Pauline, this is a labor of love. That is what love means to them. I am really so grateful to be here in front of all of you. I'm really so grateful for this opportunity. Talitha Kum, Sister Abby, oh, you're my I'm your biggest fan. I am so grateful that, women like you look at me straight into the eyes and give me the power to speak. I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted that I come here to just speak about the work that Rebirth of a Queen does. And when I hear you talk about grassroots organizations, in Kenya we not only struggle with our voices, but we struggle in getting resources. So in 2024, when our shelter was attacked, I remember sending Sister Abby a message. Our shelter was attacked. And there is an app that Talitha Kum has, Walking in Dignity. This year I'm meeting people and they're like, yeah, I donated to Rebirth of a Queen. I'm like, you really do not know what you did to us. We were attacked 3 times and I had to move with 40 people running from perpetrators. And it's because of those little support that you make that creates a difference. So when you go to bed today and you ask yourself, what can I do? It's the little things that you do every single day that makes a difference. I'm never close to a millionaire. I'm not even sure if I'll ever become a millionaire, because by the time I am getting some millions, I have 500 or 5,000 euros that I need to pay for school fees. So becoming a millionaire has never been one of my interests. I just want girls, children, young people to be educated. Because every weekend when I sit in our shelter and I ask girls, what do you want to be? Mom Pauline, I want to be a lawyer, because no other girl will ever go through what I went through. I want to be a doctor. Some of them tell me they want to be judges because I am an activist by blood. And maybe 15 years from now, I'll be in the streets again reminding my government that, you know what, women deserve spaces. And maybe I'll be shot somewhere. I'm not trying to hope bad things for myself, but in Kenya, just going in the street is a risk enough. But when those girls tell me they want to become doctors and judges so that they protect me, I take it into my heart. And so when I stand here to speak about my story, I carry the story of so many young women. I carry the story of people who tell me, I just want to be like you, Mom Pauline. I carry the stories of women who tell me they want to go to Harvard. I'm sure they don't even know which country Harvard is, but they want to go to Harvard. It's a good thing. I'm going back home and give them all the stories of Rome so that they tell me, when I grow up, I want to go to Rome. Trust me, sometimes we don't even know what we want to do or what we really want to go do in Rome, but they want to come to Rome because every little thing, it's important for a survivor. So when I ask myself again if I really want to have a normal life, I'll be lying. Normalcy is boring. It is very boring. But if wishes were horses, I wouldn't ask to have a body of a survivor. I would just want to wear my beautiful green dress. I would just want to have those stories we used to read while I was growing up. I want to go to school. This is what we tell children do in Kenya. What do you want to be when you grow up? I just want to go to school. I want to go to high school. I want to go after high school to university and then get married to my prince, or I don't know. I don't know. And have a better life. Maybe that is what I would ask for. But because life does not give people like us the chance to go back, I carry with me an audacity to shift the narratives in the world. And I am so grateful I'm never alone. I have people who believe in my dreams, starting with Talitha Kum and the amazing young people that I've been with. People who believe in my dream and give me the audacity, the boldness, the courage to just go out here and create a difference, one step at a time. And so I will leave you with a question tonight. What is that one thing that you can do? Maybe it's to smile back at me, because I'll carry that smile for the rest of my life. Thank you so much. My name is Pauline, and I'm so grateful to be here.
And now I'll be presenting a few of the next acts that we will see. First, we're going to hear from the Coro degli Angeli Universitari di Roma. Then we'll hear from documentary producer Lia Beltrami, who will be sharing stories that highlight hope for the vulnerable through her work behind the camera lens. We'll then present a pre-recorded song by Siriwan, a former teacher and human trafficking activist from Thailand. She's now a Talitha Kum Ambassador of Hope, and her dedication to eradicating human trafficking is unwavering, despite the terminal illness she's currently facing. Our fourth ambassador will be Daniela Krauss, who will perform a narrative dance for us.
Buonasera.
Good evening, everyone. We are the Coro degli Angeli from Rome. We are a multicultural choir, mostly made up of African singers. We have been working together for almost 10 years, and this evening we will sing two songs named Giauloni, which means concerning Jesus. Whatever problem you have concerns Jesus. This is our first song from Ghana, whereas the second is Simbalabue, which is a song talking about the sanctity of the Lord and glorifies God. So we hope you will enjoy our songs. Thank you very much.
Jamyoli, Jamyoli, Notimove, Jamyoli, Jamyoli, Notimove, Jamyoli, Jamyoli,
Bebaril maman sirible na bumabari.
Jamyoli, Jamyoli,
Bebaril maman sirible na gagoe.
Jamyoli, Jamyoli,
Bebakuri angautai angangai angautasi yura bila sukuti na puruku linjamyoli leche saba sochi na mileve jamyoli ole yara
Notimove, Jamyoli, Jamyoli, Notimove, Jamyoli, Jamyoli, oh, 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 Jamyoli, oh, 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 oh. Dum dum zoom, Jamyoli, Jamyoli, oh, Jamyoli,
Jamyoli,
Merci.
Potete far partire il video, per favore.
สวัสดีค่ะหนูชื่อเด็กหญิงวาลีอายุ9 ปีค่ะตอนหนูอยู่บ้านหนูก็ไม่ได้กินข้าวหลายมื้อตอนหนูมาอยู่กับสเตอร์หนูก็มีความสุขได้เรียนรู้หลายอย่างอนาคตหนูจะเป็นตำรวจแล้วก็จับคนที่สูบยาบ้าพ่อแม่และพี่สาวก็ตามหนูก็จะจับเองค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
ความสุขของตนเองนั่นคือความสุขที่แท้จริงนะเมื่อเราให้ความสุขคนอื่นสุขผู้อื่นนั่นนะอันนั้นเป็นความสุขที่ยิ่งใหญ่
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lia Beltrami. I am a director of documentaries, and I also carry out photo exhibitions. We just saw a part of the movie Tears and Dreams, which you can see on the platform of Vatican News, which tells about the story of a group, congregation of sisters, together with a Buddhist monk, who try to set the girls free from human trafficking in Burma, in the Golden Triangle, Burma, Myanmar, and Thailand. It's not easy to open the video in front of a girl aged 9 who would like to be a police woman as a dream to arrest her father and brothers. So in this path, we want to express how important it is to communicate, to tell and spread the incredible work that you do as religious people, to tell about this incredible work that so many volunteers do to give voice to people like Pauline, to give voice to people who don't have a screen or a microphone in front of them. The widest project in which we work is Emotions to Generate Change, moving to those emotions who can really touch the deepest parts of our heart to generate change. The picture that we see today is actually part of this project. It has been made by a young photographer from Bangladesh. It's two little girls who dry fish, which they will then sell in the dangerous streets of Dhaka. In these pictures, you can see the tragedy of children's slavery, but also deep hope. This is why Sister Abby chose this picture with her collaborators. We have been working for so many years together with Talitacom to try and communicate, to inflame hearts, and to transform who? First of all, the protagonists of these stories, because you can't make a movie and then let the protagonist live the same life as in the past. Her life needs to transform concretely. We want to transform the life of us making the movie, but also the congregations with which we work, to tell these stories so that we can increasingly improve life. And then we also want to transform the audience, those who watch the movie, and at the end of the movie, making you ask yourself, as Pauline said, what can I do today? In 30 years of work, one of the first movies that I made me meet one of these people who was an actress in my movie on the Council of Trento, Paola Stradi, one of the foundresses of Genre, and she was one of the persons who created this hope together with us. When we carry out this work, both movies or exhibitions or shows or just communication, we need to learn how to measure and assess what we do, because it's not enough to give ourselves. We women tend to give ourselves fully, but need to be done with skills to have results. I would like to briefly introduce to you the example of a movie that you already hosted in the past as UISG and Talitacom carried out together with UMOFC, called Invisibles, where Sister Bernadette also worked, and she is also very skillful, and please give her a round of applause because she deserves it. So we will just watch the trailer, and then very briefly I will tell you how we assessed the impact of this movie when Invisibles was released, so that each of you may be encouraged to commit yourselves in art and communication. So let us watch the second trailer.
grande souffrance dans tout ça là, c'est d'être seul.
Christine has now become a baker. She can bake bread, she can make pastries. Our mission there is that we want them to grow in self-confidence. We want them to know that they can do and they can be who they want to be. Because most of them, their dreams for life got cut off because they couldn't complete school and they had children when they didn't want to.
Ça fait 19 ans que j'ai créé l'orphelinat pour s'occuper des enfants.
La forme de violence plus répétée, je dirais, que nous voyons, très souvent les femmes sont abandonnées par le mari parce que l'objectif c'est de les amener à être autonomes. Et à pouvoir aussi dépasser les souffrances qu'elles ont, qui sont aussi une réalité.
Thanks to Sister Bernadette's work, you can watch Invisibles in Italian, in English, in French and Spanish on Vatican News. So we need to understand how, in 1 year and a half, this movie has created transformation. So you can see when we can assess our work up to a specific extent. But in the meantime, let's make some figures. 90 screenings in 30 countries. In the Vatican, with more than 2,000 people in the audience, we can see the countries represented all over the world. And this is a first level of work, reaching out to as much people as possible. This movie was a finalist in over 34 international film festivals. It won 14 international film festival awards, and this is a way to spread our message. On Vatican News and on Vatican Media, it has more than 26,000 complete views with more than 20 press articles for deeper analysis, and a special edition will be broadcasted on RAI on March the 3rd, and it has been broadcasted by several TVs in the world, and it was a tool for the World Women Observatory ambassadors developing in numbers, using this movie in their group work in the communities to raise awareness. We discovered, also by listening to our audience, that we need to assess the points changing in the audience. 96% of audience stated that they were inspired to create change. 25% of them, after watching the movie, organized additional screenings or events. 98% of the audience became more aware of what is violence against women. And this happened also in the protagonists of the movie, because in order to create this path and understanding the various nuances of violence, and then living the same experiences of Mama Ewe, who was kidnapped and then led to Togo, you need to be very aware. And once, when I was working on a documentary on child trafficking for sexual tourism in Sri Lanka, one of the main centers for children protection there, we listened to one of the mothers in our raising awareness processes, asking us, but what is the danger in having our children in the streets? They will not become pregnant, so it's important to have awareness. Change was carried out in the sisters and congregations, which became more united, but also with female Catholic organizations, with the World Women Observatory, but not only that. Sisters themselves started creating new and more specific projects in order to prevent violence against women, above all in Africa. And mostly, congregations started using the tool of narration in order to raise awareness. The human impact that we can measure assesses the way in which life is changed. We had 8 women, protagonists of the movie, who could fulfill their dream of life. Pauline also told us that we need fundraising, and our first movie, Tears and Dreams, carried out 5 years ago, created the opportunity for a fundraising activity for the creation of a center for children and a formation vocational center, which is going to be launched this year. After the movie Invisible was released, there were funders who wanted to support the work of Sisters in Africa, and this is also another impact. But what is most important is that in Nigeria, one of the areas in which human trafficking starts with the aim of prostitution towards Italy, the local film commission, which doesn't directly work with us, started using Invisibles, and they have been projecting it all the weeks for the girls of the slums and villages, explaining how, by means of formation and training, it is possible to escape from the darkest contexts, weaving relationships and helping those in need. Another important work that we did, and here you can see a group, is another movie created with Teletacom, namely Wells of Hope. Some of our volunteers in Lebanon went there and they broadcasted the movie in the refugee camps to raise awareness in the girls not to fall in the trafficking networks online, which in this case leads to the sale of organs. Just to conclude, I would use 3 important words. Skills. When you communicate, please do it well. Do it well because our standards are very high. So commitment to a good quality communication is crucial, but also for a skilled communication, concreteness, because in every history and every story we need to find reality, and also hope for a concrete renewal and collaboration. The more we create networks, this is what Teletacom tells us, the more we work together, the more we are able to amplify our message and reach out to the whole world. Sister Bernadette quoted the importance and need that the awareness raising work by means of communication media involves prevention, the audience and girls, but most importantly those who are and will be the traffickers of the future, so that they will be made aware before they may commit any crime. Thank you very much.
E potete fare il video di Siriwan, per favore.
You and I, God's loving creation. Majesty you give to our lives. Everyone is great in time. Low, high, is not to be. Cash and loving home, division burdens you and me. Rise together for your glory, oh sisters, brothers in Christ the Lord. Talitha kum, in Siam fly together to fulfill holy dreams of our loving God. You raise up all from falling, give us hopes of past fulfilling. Human trafficking be vanished, restore of new life in God's love. So that Josephine Bakhita, ora pro nobis, victory over thee we wait. For suffering we hope to have the new full light of life. Then together, walk together, Talitha kum. Talitha kum, in Siam fly together to fulfill holy dreams of our loving God. You raise up all from falling, give us hopes of past fulfilling. Human trafficking be vanished, restore of new life in God's love. So that Josephine Bakhita, ora pro nobis, victory over thee we wait. For suffering we hope to have the new full light of life. Then together, walk together, Talitha kum. Then together, walk together, Talitha kum.
just as a feather, just as a light and small feather with a blow may disappear and fly away. This is how I am. My name is Nancy, and I've been a sexual slave, one of the thousands of girls who came to Italy by being promised a better life and a good job. I was 17. Just as a feather, I was small, and I wanted to believe in a colorful life. I wanted to believe in people, trust in people. Instead, I let others decide on behalf of myself for my life. Before leaving, I was subjected to violences and rituals, and I really do believe, and I really did believe, that I was a prisoner, that I was to become crazy if I didn't follow the instructions of my traffickers. As a feather, frail and alone, I got lost in time and space with fear. I crossed deserts. I crossed the sea. I was betrayed by my brothers. He himself had reassured me before leaving. My brother sold me. My brother obliged me to become a prostitute. As a feather, I was still too young and frail. I was a virgin. I was pure. I was light. How much I would have liked to disappear and fly away. Instead, those men who maltreated me, many men, stole my soul, my intimate life. Once, 10 times, 100 times. He, another one, another man. This was not the life I had dreamed of. But after 2 years, I found hope again to go away and escape, just as a feather. Walked on. I was bearing on my body the visible signs of the violence I had suffered, but I still had the wish to be reborn, the wish for life. And eventually, in Toscana, I came to know a young Nigerian woman who helped me. Meeting her gave me back my life, just as a feather. I was welcomed and respected in my lightness. I could find peace with my body. Together with women, social assistants, volunteers, mothers, who were all patient with me, I was helped to recreate my fragmented life, and I discovered that I also deserved being loved. Just as a feather, I understood I can't fly just for me, and that my tears and words need to cry to the world. They need to cry to the world the heinous crime of sexual exploitation, the heinous crime of considering women as objects to be possessed. This is not the case. Every human being deserves respect, just as a feather. And I understood I can't exist for myself. My name is Nancy, and today I am a mother. I have a beautiful kid who opens up my horizons. I love to cuddle my kid. Maternal love is what the Virgin Mary teaches us, because she is the mother of all mothers. Just as a feather, today I am now able to fly again, grateful for the life I have, even though the mental wounds I still have require a lot of time to heal. Today, I can be whatever I want to be. It's never too late to start again and to hope. Don Oreste Benzi, a priest, was right when he accompanied the victims of human trafficking. And he used to say, the victims of human trafficking don't want to be comforted. They want to be set free. They want to be set free together. This is our hope. One day, some years ago, we were very struck by the story of a migrant child, a migrant girl, who died in the waters of the sea near Lampedusa, and we would like to dedicate our next song to her. And we consider her as our little sister whose name we'll never know. And for you, Chi piange per te.
Scarpe di vernice, perché nessuno viene a chiedere di te in quale stiva è persa la tua gente, dove tua madre, cucciolo, dov'è? Piangono muti quei lupi di mare sulla tua bara bianca piccola così, borsa da croste di sangue e di sale, quei pugni stretti livida, sei lì. Che abissi sai, bambina con la sabbia nei ricordi, terrore, bombe, fughe, piaghe, crudeltà, febbre di sete e ciondole di fame, strazi e donne in pianto, quante atrocità. Scortica fino all'anima il tuo grido, morto e strozzato tra le labbra gonfie blu. Io mi vergogno e mi chiedo dov'ero, mentre mi chiamavi tu. Io dov'ero io? Io dov'ero? Pietà, oh Dio, il loro grido sale fino a te, quel grido apra le mani a me. Il loro grido sale fino a te, quel grido apra le mani a me. Pietà. Allora Dio, bambina con le alghe tra i capelli, che senza nome, senza storia te ne vai, ti culi il pianto di quella nostra gente che sa cos'è la solidarietà. Oh ninna nanna piccola cometa, lampo nel cuore buio dell'umanità. Oh ninna nanna piccola sorella, ci hai portato in dono la pietà.
Here to provide this evening's second testimony is another young woman from Kenya who's witnessed firsthand the devastating impact of trafficking, particularly on women and youth. She is living testimony of how Talitha Kum's Youth Ambassador Training Program can be transformed into youth-led initiatives. Please join me in welcoming Mary Mugo.
Good evening. Hey, good evening. Oh, that's better. All protocols observed. My name is Mary Mugo, and I am the founder of Semanami organization in Kenya, fighting human trafficking and gender-based violence. I'm also proud to be a Talitha Kum Youth Ambassador, a global network of young leaders committed to dismantling the systems that allow human trafficking to thrive. My journey began in 2018 when I received training from Talitha Kum. And that training didn't just open my eyes, it opened my heart. I saw how trafficking isn't just about individuals. It's about broken systems, silenced voices, and shattered dreams. But I also saw how one voice can spark change. And 2 years later, Semanami, which means speak to me, was born. And since then, our journey has been filled with both challenges and triumph. Last year, we managed to empower 5 incredible women through short courses. Today, they are not just survivors. They are small business owners, standing tall, providing for their families, and breaking the cycle of exploitation. Their success stories remind us that when women are given opportunities, they don't just survive, they thrive. As a Talitha Kum Youth Ambassador, I work alongside passionate young leaders across the globe who are present here today. We are more than advocates. We are ambassadors of hope. We challenge the root causes of trafficking, poverty, inequality, lack of education, and we push for policies that protect the vulnerable. We create awareness in our communities, collaborate with law enforcement agencies, and stand in solidarity with survivors, just like Pauline here, because we know that prevention is just as powerful as rescue. Human trafficking thrives in silence, but we are here today to break that silence. And today, I stand before you, not just to share a story of how Semanami was born or how the incredible job we are doing as youth ambassadors, but to invite you all to be part of us. Together, we can create a world where no woman is trafficked, where no child is exploited, and where every survivor's voice echoes with strength and hope. Let's be that hope. Thank you.
So, let's live together some joy. I think we have cried enough. So we will sing a song in the glory of God, because despite all the hardships that we all encountered and have encountered in our life, He always managed to help us in any possible way.
Song balla wende, song ni song balla wende. Iu nor bidum suri sarvada, kumnar ko kaini ay. Song ni song balla wende, songo balla wende, songo ni song balla wende. Iu nor bidum suri sarvada, kumnar ko kaini ay. Song ni song balla wende, songo balla wende. Listen, bella wende, io non vedo suri sonagada, una cocaini, song bella wende. Ingri la tengait balam da yam ye, no vilis fon kilis da yam ye, we torvino sonagada yam tore, I borgo sodun yon swallow, song bella wende, songo bella wende. Songo, balla wende. Io non vedo suri sonagada, kumnar ko kaini ye. Song balla wende. Songo, balla wende. Songo, balla wende. Io non vedo suri sonagada, kumnar ko kaini ye. Song balla wende. Semua tuh suara yuninga babengre. Gililia, il balbayamba. Doni poveli gili non lombe. Gililia, il balbayamba. Doni poveli skilis danyamwa. Gililia, il balbayamba. Sumale gram la pandam pigidi yure. Gililia, il balbayamba. It gilis danyamba. Mbagir nombo no wasobo go swallow. Song balla wende. Songo balla wende. Song balla wende. Io non vedo suri sonagada, kumnar ko kaini. Song balla wende. Song balla wende. Song balla wende. Io non vedo suri sonagada, kumnar ko kaini. Song balla wende.
1, 2, 3, collect, sing.
Songo, songo, sombala wende. Songo, songo, sombala wende. Iu norbiru suri saragana. Kunaka kainiye. Songo, sombala wende. Songo, songo, sombala wende. Songo, songo, sombala wende. Iu norbiru suri saragana. Kunaka kainiye. Songo, sombala wende.
Thank you.
Il coro degli angeli.
This is the coro degli angeli.
Don't they make you want to dance? Yes. And now we're extremely honored and pleased to share a message about against human trafficking from a veteran Hollywood actress, comedian, television personality, an Emmy Award, Grammy Award, Tony Award, and Academy Award winner. In 2003, she became a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. She now joins Talitha Kum as an ambassador of hope. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, Lia Beltrami, sometimes known as Sister Mary Clarence, and hopefully you will see Mary Clarence again sometime this year when Sister Act 3 gets done. But today I'm proud to be teaming up with a real Sister Act that's making a huge difference to thousands of people around the world who've been trafficked. Did you know that an estimated 30 million people are victims of human trafficking as we speak? And some 50 million are victims of modern slavery. This includes forced labor, domestic servitude, sexual exploitation, and begging. What really breaks my heart is the children. 12 million children are living as modern slaves, and 1 in 3 victims of human trafficking is a kid. This is outrageous and has to stop. Human trafficking is organized crime. Now, in my movie, you know that's something Sister Mary Clarence knows all about.
You're telling me this guy is a mad criminal and you want me to testify? Do you know what's going to happen? He's going to track me down, he's going to kill me.
So the sisters have organized themselves to fight this together. They know that strength lies in networking and being where the action takes place on the streets, in migrant camps, close to vulnerable populations. And I think that's smashing. I'm getting in on this act as a Talitha Kum ambassador for hope, lending my voice in the fight against human trafficking. You can get in on the act too. Go to talithakum.info and find out more. Hey, I'm Whoopi Goldberg, sometimes known as
Our next song talks about our life as a journey with its strengths and weaknesses, but led by a safe hand, the hand of God, who we can recognize in our neighbors, the most suffering ones. For you, our next song, Walk on Holy Ground.
You alone became my own. Grant that I may Lord, you came to set the captives free and to heal the brokenhearted, reaching out to those in need. Servant of the poor, now you send me as your sign of love for all humanity. And I will walk on holy ground. I'll hear your voice, I'll see your face, I will find you in the crowd. Lord, I will go where you will lead me. I will walk on holy ground. You are near, you are here, here beside me, Lord. In the cries of all the hungry and the homeless, you are there. In the eyes of the forsaken and forgotten, you are there. In my fears and in my failures, in the silent depths of my own poverty, you are there. Et avec toi, j'irai, Seigneur. J'entends ta voix et je te vois dans les pauvres autour de moi. Je te suivrai où tu me conduis. Je te vois auprès de moi. Y junto a ti caminaré. Te seguiré, me guiarás. Oh Señor, te encontraré. Entre la gente codo a codo, tu amor yo llevaré. Je te vois près de moi. You are here on holy ground.
Thank
Grazie.
you. Grazie.
Thank you, Gen Verde. Truly, every single song was amazing. Thank you. Daniela. Daniela, you reminded me that if we fight human trafficking, we're actually going to be able to eliminate every crime in the world. Thank you. Thank you for your words. And for those of us who have tears running down our face, we remember what Pope Francis said: we need to weep. We need to weep because that's the only time when things will change. Thank you. While this now brings us to the end of this evening's call for hope and healing, our work to end human trafficking must go on until the plague becomes a long, distant memory, never again to be repeated. The UISG, the USG, Talitha Kum, and all of those who have participated in this evening's events, and all those who have been coordinating this event behind the scenes, wish to thank all of you, not only for coming here this evening, but for all the hidden and the not so hidden work that each of you are doing. So let's give all of us a round of applause to Pauline, to Mary, to Daniela, to the students. They've gone. You'll take our thanks to them. To Gen Verde. To il Cori degli Angeli Universitari. To Lia Beltrami. To Daniela Krauss. And virtually, we send them to Siriwan, the young Thailandese teacher that we heard on video. And of course, to Whoopi Goldberg. And we hope to do more with her in the future. So we do invite you all to join us online tomorrow. 11:30 a.m. will begin the online pilgrimage of prayer, the specific international prayer that we'll be offering on this International Day of Prayer and Awareness Against Human Trafficking. That's 11:30 tomorrow online. We'll continue our evening now on the first floor, where we hope that in the Talitha Kum tradition, our networking will continue. Sister Abby will conclude for us.
Well, thank you, Sister Bernadette. This evening, actually, or this event won't be possible without our collaboration. I would like to acknowledge all our organizing committee. Some of you are present here. I'd like to call Francesca Donna from the Dicastery of Integral Human Development. One of partners, Ms. Daniela Alba, of course, from JRS. Irene, are you still around? From Giovanni 23, where are you? Oh, please acknowledge yourself. Okay. And many more. I think that's, of course, Sister Pelomina from, thank you so much for your coming here. And Gabriele from Pocolare, one of those really help us to organize this week-long event. Actually, we've been doing this almost a year now, but we're here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming, and this is just the beginning of our journey. Like I said, this is like a web, okay? When you do your networking, you really need to expand. And hope Gen Verde, all these kids, and all these people who came here, you create your own network. Let us do it together against human trafficking. Of course, we also acknowledge Sister Roxanne? Bernadette, of course, I'm Bernadette. And of course, my team, Sister Adina, Regional Coordinator of Talitha Kum. Please acknowledge yourself as well. And I won't forget our dear Sister Carmen, coming from Mexico. Thank you. She's also Regional Coordinator from Latin America. Acknowledge my team from UISG, Sister Mary Joan, of course, and of course, Paula and Sister Shalini. And all of you here, thank you so much. And Sister Mary Barron, the President of the UISG. Of course, without your support, we won't be here. Thank you so much all. Let's join together for this thing. Thank you.